Hello everyone, Richard here at Kelvin Wazoo, where you don't have to have yourself a point to have yourself a point. You know, I wonder if, I'm sure some people get my obvious references with my little opening lines, but, I'm wondering if any of you are going to get that reference. Leave a comment in the down under if you do. So, another episode of Song X Song. And today I'm going to be comparing two releases by Scissor Sisters. And that is these two here. We have Nightwork and Magic Hour. These are the last two releases of Scissor Sisters before they disbanded and went off to do their own things. Interestingly, they are reuniting and they have already scheduled a reunion tour. However, that their tour dates at this time are strictly in Britain and Ireland, which is, they've all, even though the band is from New York City, at least that's where they formed. But anyway, they never achieved the popularity in the United States that they achieved in Britain. I mean, they could sell out Wembley Stadium. But in the U.S., they typically played a lot of smaller venues, or if they were in a large venue, then they were the opening act. I have seen Scissor Sisters, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 times? 4 times, and one of the times was when they were the opening act for Lady Gaga, and that was at the, in Boston at the arena there. I can't remember what the name of that arena is. But all the other times that I saw them in concert, it was in a smaller venue. So Scissor Sisters were, Jake Shears on vocals, Anna Matronic on vocals, Baby Daddy on bass, synths and keyboards, and then Marquis on guitar. Now, the drummer varied with release to release and tour to tour for a large part, but there was one commonality. He was the only member of the band who did not sleep with men. This reunion tour that is organized in Britain is sans animatronic. So it'll be interesting to see some of what kind of set list they put together, because there were some songs that the lead vocals were animatronic as opposed to Jake Shears. Anyway, if you don't know about Scissor Sisters, it's just a really, really fun band. I've always enjoyed their music, and their first two releases are absolutely stellar. These are their last two releases, and they're good. They're solid, but not quite as good as the first two. These are a little more formulaic, I think is the best way to do it, to describe them. And they are, I won't say necessarily equal, but they're pretty close in terms of, in my opinion, of overall quality, in the same way that the first two were pretty close in overall quality. However, the debut and Tada, their first two albums, are much better than these. But having said that, to me, I like these releases. These are good. So anyway, we'll get started here with the Song X Song description of that. And we're going to start off with track number 1, which has the titular track "Night Work" from the CD "Night." I these are available on vinyl. However, the vinyl copies are like really expensive. No, I'm not. I probably am not going to be getting a copy of them anytime soon. Anyway, we have the titular track from Night Work opening up here, and then we have Baby Come Home. So Night Work is just a really fun, upbeat song. It's a great opener. I think it's about sex work. And in fact, a lot of this release, the songs are about, NSA activities and things like that. Baby Come Home has a real soulful feel to it. It's someone who is waiting at home for their lover to return because, man, they want to get it on with them. But at the same time, this other person is like just a philanderer, just goes out and does his own thing. But the voice, the singer of this song, can't let go. Recognizes that this other person is very self-absorbed and that, but they still, I won't say they love them, but they're infatuated and obsessed with them. So they want more special time with them. Yeah, it's a good song, but Night Work just as an opener and also just as an overall song, I think is the better one. So we're going to start off with Night Work, the release Night Work with 1 to 0 for Magic Hour. Then we come to track 2, Keep Your Shoes On, which is from Magic Hour, and Whole New Way from Night Work. Now, Whole New Way has this really sexy, funky beat. And again, to me, it just makes it seems to me to be a reference to anal sex. It's found a whole new way to love you. It's a really good groove to the song. Keep Your Shoes On is pretty good as well. But I am going to go with a Whole New Way from Night Work for the win. So Night Work is now 2 songs to 0 for Magic Hour. Track 3 comes up with Fire with Fire from Magic Hour versus Inevitable. Now, Jake Shears' voice on Fire with Fire really soars. He has a fantastic voice anyway, an incredible range. He sings falsetto, not necessarily on this song, but he can sing falsetto just absolutely beautifully. In fact, when they were the opening act for Lady Gaga, I noticed, and they played a really super short set, and I noticed that Jake did not sing any falsetto, and his voice just didn't sound that strong. And so, on Shitter, the platform formerly known as Twitter, I, because I was following them, I tagged their account, and I made a comment that it appeared that Jake was ill, that he couldn't sing, and I hope he was feeling better. And I got a reply back that yes, he was ill. He could barely sing, and he, apologized for that. But yeah, that could tell right away because his style of singing is very distinctive. I believe he won one of the sessions or seasons or whatever of The Masked Singer. Anyway, so these are both pretty good songs. Inevitable it's not your typical breakup song. It's a breakup song, but it has a very optimistic outlook, that both of the parties involved are, hey, you're going to find something else. That's kind of how I take it. And then they'll see each other, or each of them, I should say, will see another spring. Spring, hope, hope's eternal, or whatever the saying is. It's kind of a difficult choice, because I really like Fire with Fire and Jake's voice and his singing in that. But I do believe that Inevitable is the better song. So I'm going to go with Night Work now with 2-1 for Magic Hour. Now we come up to track 4. We have Only the Horses from Magic Hour and Any Which Way. Now, Any Which Way, Shears is singing with that signature falsetto voice. And it has, it's another one with a really sexy, funky beat. It's totally about NSA sex. It's just, it really is disco style with the really strong, funky bass lines. And Kylie Minogue even sings the breakdown in the song. Only the Horses has a very pop sound to it. Very radio friendly, and the structure is very predictable. But it's got this really strong, solid bass beat and a house beat. This is definitely a house style song. And so again, despite both of these songs being really, really good, Only the Horses is the one for the win. It is a much better song. So we've got Night Work with 2 and Magic Hour now with 2. All right, now we're coming up to track 5. We have The Harder You Get from Night Work and The Year of Living Dangerously from Magic Hour. All right, so The Harder You Get, this is another song about sexual hedonism. And there's I kind of like the one comment where, Jake is singing, you don't want just one, you have to have them all. It's got a very hard rock beat and style to it. Even though the solos are quite short, Marquis just really rips it on his guitar. The Year of Living Dangerously is a very atmospheric song. And I love the violin at the end. It just brings in the right feel to close the song. So again, very difficult choices here with the two, but I'm going to go with The Year of Living Dangerously for the win. So we're now with Night Work with 2 songs to Magic Hour with 3. All right, track 6 from Magic Hour is probably the biggest hit that Scissor Sisters have had since the release of I Don't Feel Like Dancing. And that is Let's Have a Kiki. Running Out is kind of the first serious song on the Night Work release, but it's still a really, really fun song. It's just about how the world is just running out of things because of everyone's self-absorption. Kiki, it was super fun when it was released. It's still, it's got a fantastic rhythm and groove to it. It's an ode to the New York City ballroom scene of the past. It kind of feels like a guilty pleasure now because, there was some flack with the song from other various sources, but I don't really want to get into that. It is a fun song. I do like it, even though it does kind of come off in an appropriated sort of way. So I'm gonna go with Let's Have a Kiki for the win on this track. So that's Night Work with 2 and Magic Hour with 4. Now we're coming up to track 7. We have Something Like This from Nightwork with Shady Love from Magic Hour. Now, Something Like This it's a very robotic song, and and it's about someone trying to find someone that they saw on the dance floor. So yeah, it has this very syncopated and robotic rhythm and presentation to it. I do like the la-las at the end. That's really good. Shady Love is a really, really fun romp. And you've got Azalea Banks appearing and singing on the bridges in the song. It's just a really, really, something like this is okay. It gets better at the end. But Shady Love is, I do like Shady Love. So we're now Nightwork with 2 and Magic Hour with 5. Magic Hour really taking a pretty commanding lead here. Track 8 is San Luis Obispo from Magic Hour, and then Skin This Cat from Nightwork. So Skin This Cat is a synth pop song. It's okay. It's an animatronic song. And yeah, it's okay, but I've always kind of, it was just, a tolerable song. It wasn't a bad song. It's just one that really, it just really didn't do it for me. But it is a well written song in terms of it being about a woman, a very worldly woman, who is, got someone making moves to her, trying to seduce her, but she's kind of like, man, you need to go out and get some more experience before you can have me, kind of thing. Yeah, I think San Luis Obispo is got a really excellent song structure to it, particularly given that it's about San Luis Obispo, and it's interesting because you've got the singer is talking about how he fell in love with someone in San Luis Obispo. He also fell in love with the town San Luis Obispo, but then they broke up, and he really kind of hopes he never sees this other person again, because if they ever return to San Luis Obispo, then he's going to be, even though he loves the town and the area, he'll leave rather than stay. So yeah, I like the song, and so we've got 6 now for Magic Hour and 2 for Nightwork. Then we come to track 9, and we have the songs, let's see, Self Control from Magic Hour versus Skin Tight from Nightwork. Now, Skin Tight to me is a song that celebrates unprotected sex. And Self Control is about edging, or perhaps even what they now call gooning. Yeah, it's so they're both kind of these somewhat prurient topics. They're both pretty good songs. Skin Tight I like better. It's a better song, so that we've now got another one now for Nightwork. So Nightwork is 3 to Magic Hour at 6. All right, we're getting close to we are with the final songs here, and we've got Sex and Violence, which is from Nightwork, and then we've got Best in Me from Magic Hour. Sex and Violence is one of those songs that can be about two things. And one of them, but they're about the same thing, except from two different perspectives. And that is, they're about S&M, but on one hand, it's about S&M as a kink, and then the other part of it is about S&M and its use with predatory sex, and not a not in a mutual way, and murder as well. So they're kind of combined in there, and so there's this really dark quality to the song, but the way the song is built and put together, and the way Jake is singing, I just really, really like that. Best in Me is a pretty good song. It's kind of, I don't know, a little cliched. He's singing about someone, in this relationship that just brings out the best in him, and he's celebrating that. And that's all good, but I'm going for the dark. Okay, sex and violence, for the win. So Night Work is now 4 to Magic Hour with 6. And then we come to track 11. We have The Secret Life of Letters versus Nightlife. Now, Nightlife is this celebratory song about someone who is like trapped in the suburbs, and they got to get out of the suburbs to go get some action. So it's got an intensity to it, and and if you kind of know, I live in Chicago, in the city, but I know what the suburbs are like around here, And when I used to go out frequently, it was easy to spot the people who were coming in from the burbs to the clubs in the area. Anyway, Letters is a melancholic song, but it's a really good song. It's just the secret life of letters, and written words having lives of their own kind of thing. It's I like the tone, I like the atmosphere, I like its forlornness. So that's Secret Life of Letters for the win. So that's Magic Hour with 7 to 4 for Night Work. And then we come to the final track number 12, which is Invisible Light here versus Somewhere. Okay, Invisible Light is another song that is praising hedonism. And it's got Ian McKellen doing a narration, in the song, kind of like maybe a lyrical coda. And it climaxes in this really deep house frenzy. Somewhere is also another deep house beat style song. It's a solid song. So, thinking of which one's the better song is really difficult. But as I was listening to these, I realized that, and here the sounds of the city are coming through. Somewhere's refrain sounds a bit reductive. Even though the song is really good, it just sounds like it was copped from something else. So, Invisible Light for the win on here. So we've got Night Work with 5 songs to Magic Hour 7. So Magic Hour wins with this particular song, X song. They're both really good. I do know that there are friends of mine, when these came out, especially after the first 2 Scissor Sisters releases, they were disappointed with this one. Many of my friends who like Scissor Sisters, they were disappointed with that release, and then they were very pleased with this release, and so they like this one much better. They're pretty close to me, but on a song X song basis, yeah, this one is, the better record, the better release in many ways. So, hey, leave your comments in the down under. I do enjoy getting them. Remember that you can also find me on Instagram as NewsDude76. That's NEWZDUDE76. And then I have a Facebook page called Calvin Wazoo, where I post my videos from here as well as other music-related content, articles, and other videos. Yeah, don't forget to leave a comment in the down under and hit the like button, even if you're already subscribed, because it just really, really helps. This is likely going to be, it's not going to be my last video, but it's going to be a while probably before I get back into a more regular rhythm. Just because, things have happened and I need to reassess things. And so I just need to kind of pull back and be a little more contemplative about what I want to do. And but hey, I'll be back eventually. I'm not going to be going away for years, I hope. It's just going to be a little hiatus. I've already been not posting as frequently as I used to, but yeah, it could be a couple of weeks or so before I do another video. So I hope you hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe so that when I do come back, you'll know and you'll get a notification. So please remember to pray for the people inside your head, for they won't be there when you're dead.